In this session, we are going to see how a trunk VLAN can be applied. For this, I'm going to use this topology, VLAN trunks. Here, I have used a multi-layer switch. Okay, so in the switch, I have these configurations. You can see those configurations through that window. This is a command log. So on switch 1, these configurations were performed. So these are the you can see the log of the log files. What are the complete logs? This view all the command entered in this file. But coming to this lab, we can see that we have this multi-layer switch. How to enable trunk mode? Default, when you ping to 10.0.0.3, we are able to ping, and even from here 10.0.0.3 ping. But now we are going to segregate PC2, PC3 to one VLAN. So I'm going here, interface fast Ethernet 0/3, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 2. Here config T, interface fast Ethernet 0/2, switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 2. No shut. On doing these two, I have made these two pieces taking part VLAN 2, and switch 1, I'm configuring it here, switch port interface fast Ethernet 0/1. Here I'm going to switch mode trunk. When I do, I'm getting notified that an interface whose trunk encapsulation is auto cannot be configured. As this is part of multi-layer switches, there as can be a possibility to have a router being connected like this. So in this case, a switch port want to negotiate what sort of link it is, either dynamic desirable or VLAN trunk mode, because routers have the capability to um, route. So all the ports are defaultly in L3 interfaces, so they will not be taking part in L2. That too, when a person network engineer makes that particular port to act as a switch port, he will be giving switch port either dynamic desirable or access even. So that case, this multi-layer switch have a specialized feature in default. Not that only, it can be auto negotiated with the neighbor to adopt its. So all these are auto enabled, which means interface fast Ethernet 0/1, switch port mode. So dynamic auto, this auto mode is enabled. So trunking mode on dynamic negotiation parameter to auto, so it will automatically negotiate to the mode to the connected neighbor. For that purpose, we have to now do a small configuration to enable the into normal mode. For that, we are going to give switchport trunk encapsulation 8.1q. Why? Because here I want to allow it tagged when the packet leaves via this fast Ethernet 0/1. When I say tagged, it should be labeled with the right tag over this link to differentiate itself from all other traffics. It can have traffic VLAN 1, VLAN 2, or VLAN 3, VLAN 4, and VLAN 5. If I'm sending a packet from a PC2 belonging to VLAN 2, it will be forwarding via this physical interface with dot one. If it is dot one queue enabled, then that VLAN tagged will be placed and it won't be forwarded without tagged. So this actually enables that being tagged. So switch port mode trunk I've given. The similarly or switch port to interface fast ethernet 0/1 switch port trunk encapsulation dot one queue enabled. And doing this, I'm making it as both allow tagged packet, but now my switch port mode trunk. So I'm not giving any specific VLAN to get tagged. Its trunk means automatically that particular switch will have understanding that when a packet goes via this port, it has to be tagged to the respective VLAN from where it got originated. For those purpose only, when the MAC address table has a separate column called VLAN, this will take care of which VLAN it has learned the MAC addresses. For example, in this case, first Ethernet 2, see, first Ethernet 1 from VLAN 1, it has learned the MAC address 001 C90C, which means that this here, even the packet originating from PC1, that MAC address will be learned via this switch. Since we are seeing at switch 2, the switch one's fast Ethernet port MAC address will be present here 001 C90C DA101. But here you can see that in this MAC address table, you can still see that from which VLAN which MAC address has been learned. So two interfaces are there. It is having VLAN 1 and VLAN 2 with same MAC address. This is of conflict of interest how it will forward, because it should not have like this. Should not. If it's having, then there is some okay. There is, yeah, it can even have this. This may be learned via this port, because since we have made it as trunk VLAN, we are can see these options. Without the trunk options, since recently we have made it as trunk with encapsulation, so it is learning both the VLANs over the interface fast ethernet 0/1. Okay, we'll come after do a ping test on this. Now we have enabled it. Now when you do ping, you can see that packets, see, from 0/3 that PC host MAC address has been learned. 037825 will be learned via fast ethernet 0/3. Similarly, when you go here, this switch won't have the feasibility of knowing all the MAC address connected to. its neighbor switches. It has only will learn the switch once fast Ethernet MAC address. That is where this one. But it will keep all learning about its connected host, their interfaces. This is PC3's MAC address. Now we can do a ping test. I am able to reach the 10.0.0.3. I am unable to ping from VLAN 1 taking part PC. So this session we have seen how to enable trunk on multi-layer switches, and how that multi-layer switches in default will have the switch port mode, and why that we need to give encapsulation dot one q command to make it as viable for VLAN trunk mode.